You are going to rebrand your entire life in 2026. I want you to look back in the start of 2027 and realize how far you've come in less than a year and how much you've changed your life in 2026. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Julia. I am 26 years old. I have not one, but two full-time jobs currently, all while chasing her side hustle. Your girl is booked and busy 24/7. This past year for me was transformative. I really walked into 2025 realizing that I wanted and needed a change for myself, and I decided to go on, originally it was a 3-month rebrand of my life. I posted videos on TikTok about it, and I got really into the idea of changing who you are to become the best version of yourself, a complete turnaround. And I can say with confidence that going into 2026, I feel like a completely different person, and I am so proud of myself for that. Throughout the entire year, I have been taking notes for you guys, so we can just go over what made this rebrand possible for me. And I'm not going to say that this was easy, but it's definitely doable for anyone who is looking to completely change their life and make 2026 the best year of their life. I just want to set a very clear expectation before we begin this video that this is not an overnight success routine. I am not going to tell you how to wake up tomorrow and be the person you want to be. Change is slow and gradual, but that is what makes it stick. I did not take on everything all at once, change all of my habits, my diet, my routines, everything, because it wouldn't be possible. And then when I inevitably failed, I would just completely fall off and never want to start again. So if you're not in a state of change currently, maybe you just have these thoughts running in the back of your mind, and when you are ready to start chasing your best possible self, you can reassess. I'm pretty sure every single one of my videos begins the same way, but it starts with a plan. I do not want you going into tomorrow trying to copy someone else's routines or goals or anything, because it's just not personal enough and it's not going to be the rebrand for you. I always like to mention things like Pinterest and journals and writing things down, but I'm sure you guys are already very aware of at least some aspects of where you want to be. So we're just going to clearly define all of those goals and all of the aspirations. Now, I want you to think of this planning stage in 2 phases. Things you want to let go and things you want to grow. Obviously, everyone has habits or things about themselves that they want to change. Those are things that we're going to start letting go of. And the things that we're growing are those habits that are going to get you aligned with your highest self. Think of all of the goals that you want to accomplish, especially in the next year. Think about maybe the career that you want or the relationships in your life that you want. Think about where you want to live and how your space around you will reflect this highest power. Habits are the foundation that you are going to build this highest self on. So think about all of the things you want to break and all of the things that you want to build in this next year. Again, these are all about gradual changes. I don't expect any of this to happen overnight. I hate to say it, but that is going to be the easiest part of this entire process. Stage 2 is really going to be where you have to dial in, and that is the mental shift. This is where you start to become that best version of yourself, because you can change X, Y, and Z, but if you are not mentally showing up as that person every single day, it is going to be impossible for you to do. So that means tomorrow, start showing up as that highest version of yourself. This is going to look different for every single person. Like I said, this entire process is very personal for you. Maybe that looks like waking up a little bit earlier to work on building your business, or maybe that means staying up a little bit later to finish your homework and get all your assignments in. It's going to look different from every single person, but it's the mind shift that needs to happen now for you to start showing up as that person tomorrow. If you have ever tried to do any sort of rebrand, the 75 hard maybe, or any sort of habit shift, you'll find it super easy, and you'll remember how easy it is that first couple of weeks, like maybe 1 or 2, and then by the 3rd week is when it starts to feel like it's falling off for you. And that is literally because your brain is craving familiarity and comfortability. And if it starts to recognize change, your brain is going to try and pull you back to the version of yourself that you were. So I think that this literally means killing off a version of yourself every single morning, waking up and recognizing who you were and pushing through that to become the best version of yourself. And it's not easy, and you're going to make mistakes along the way, and that is totally okay, and it's going to happen. Of course, it happened to me a million times before, but don't give up on yourself. Recognize that your brain inside doesn't understand that this change is happening for the better good yet. And as soon as it starts to feel those habits working, or starts to see something physically changing, or whatever it is, it starts to go, oh, okay, we can do this. But there's that little like gray area in between after you start the habit and before it becomes a success in your brain, that it feels really difficult. And this is like the shedding period, in my opinion. This is the part where you're literally killing off or shedding a version of yourself that you were before to become the best version of yourself. I developed something over the past like 6-8 months that I think really helps along this gray period, the like shedding period, that might be able to help you out as well. I call it the do opposite method. And it sounds so simple until you start to implement it, and then you go, oh my goodness, I'm literally shedding the version of myself that I was before. The do opposite method is plain and simple as it sounds. I want you to do everything the opposite of who you are now. Why? Because the version of yourself that you are now comes from the habits or the things that you've been doing before. If you want to become someone else, you need to do everything differently than what you're doing now. So for me, this was as simple and as difficult as waking up early. Oh, I don't want to wake up early today. I just want to sleep in. Well, that is the old version of myself talking. It is time to get up and go, because that is literally the opposite of who I am now, and that is who I want to become. I found this to be a little bit simpler than being in the thought process of your highest version, because sometimes it's really easy to see that highest version of yourself, but not being able to implement it on a smaller scale. And like I said, this is the most difficult stage. So be so patient with yourself and take everything you do so gradually. What I really found helpful for myself was morning and nighttime journaling, which I'll talk a little bit about later on this video. Morning and nighttime journaling gave me ways for me to set up my morning for my highest self and all of the things I want to implement. And then at night, I would do a reflection on everything that happened that day. Was I living as my highest self today? Did I do everything that I really wanted to accomplish? What worked? What didn't work? And that gives you the ability to like mold this rebrand into the new version of yourself. You kind of get to see both sides, the version of you that's planning and excited, and the version of you that did it and maybe needs some work. Once we start getting that mental shift down, you want to start showing up as your highest self. And if you're feeling it here, you want to also feel it here. That means that we're going to be physically showing up as our highest self. Now again, this is going to be so personal for every single person. I can't tell you what your highest self looks like, or it does. That's a little bit different than who you are now. That is for you to decide. I will post some pictures of what my vision board was versus like how I started 2025 versus how I'm ending 2025. I think it was honestly a physical and mental glow up for me. And the physical glow up did not happen overnight, but it really was about implementing habits and showing myself self-love in new ways and taking care of myself inside and out. And that's how my highest self would be showing up. She would be getting ready every day. She would be showing up and feeling her best. She would be wearing clothes that she feels like her absolute most confident in. That's my highest version of myself. The mental discipline versus the physical discipline is going to be very different. Mental discipline is how you appear when no one is watching. Your mental discipline is not for everyone else. It is for you. It is personal. Your physical discipline is going to be a little bit more for everyone else. It's going to be showing up and feeling your confident and highest self. And I think that's where they vary. And I think that's why it's so important to start with the mental discipline before you start really showing up as that best version of yourself. So this is like a mini part 2 of the planning stage. You're going to really think about what that highest version of yourself shows up like. What do they look like? How do they carry themselves? When they enter a room, how are they? Are they magnetic and confident? Are they kind of elusive and a little mysterious? Like, it's going to be so different. And I think this is why it's the most like fun part for me personally. It's like really customizing your character almost. I know that a very common phrase people use all the time for this is dress for the job you want or dress for the career you want. But to me, it is dress as the person you want to become. Now, I know that this is a very personal journey for every single person, and I've said that from the beginning, but there are a couple of things that I think every single person can implement to better themselves. I've talked about this a couple of times before, but it is a habit for the mind, habit for the body, and a habit for the soul. If you can in your day have at least those 3 habits, like 1 habit per knocked off, I think you're going to have a great day and you're going to start feeling and looking and appearing as a better version of yourself, even if you're like in that shedding gray period. So something for the mind. This means hiring your education, bettering the mind, or clearing the mind. A mind that keeps on growing is a mind that is going to grow with you, if that makes sense. But it could mean educating yourself. Maybe you do take another course online or something about the goals that you want to accomplish so you kind of understand yourself a little bit better. Maybe that means learning something new. Maybe you start like a new hobby just for fun and you do some education about it. And the other thing that I already mentioned is journaling. I think journaling for the mind is one of the most freeing practices that you can do for your mind. Coming from a background of depression and social anxiety and feeling just anxious all the time, having something to physically express yourself through has been so phenomenal for myself and really helped myself along the way. And then we have something for the body. I'm sure you can probably understand this one. It's going to be something to help your physical body stay healthy. And again, very different for every single person. Everyone's on a different health journey, and I'm not one to stand here and tell you how to do that. Maybe it means just getting some extra steps in your day. Maybe that means that you're gonna start going back to the gym and lifting weights, or maybe you wanna start swimming. Some other things, even on like rest days or days that you don't want to do something you can still do for your body is get some steps in and stretch. I think get some movement and feel a little bit healthier on the inside. And then soul. This one is going to be very, very different for every single person. One that I stand by 24/7, 365 is meditate, meditate, meditate. If you do nothing else for your soul other than meditation, you've done it, you've won. Maybe this means getting a little bit deeper into a religion of yours, or maybe this means something as simple as like practicing detachment or practicing presence. Those are all things that really happen in the soul. And once you can detach from things going on, or once you can be more present, it really is a lifetime change, and it really does make you understand and appreciate your life just a little bit more. I just need to remind you that you do not need to change overnight. The best part about being alive and being a human to me is having the ability to continually work on yourself and grow and be a better version of yourself. If that is a very small step for you, that is totally okay. I don't expect anyone to change overnight. It really was a lifetime change for me. And this is not the end for me, obviously. I'm going to keep growing and keep getting better and keep working on the highest version of myself, because she is constantly changing and she constantly has new goals and aspirations. And I love that about myself so much, is just my ability to keep going and keep wanting the best for myself. And that's all this comes down to. And if I can give you any sort of advice during this process, is please stop comparing yourself to everyone else. I am on step 20, you might be on step 1. I have no competition with anyone else in my life other than myself. The more I let that go and the comparison go, I really do feel so much happier in my life. So you are not behind. You are on your own amazing, beautiful journey, and I am so excited for you to keep going on this journey. So I just want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I appreciate all of your love, all of your support, and I love that we can just be a community and keep going on these journeys of being our best self together. I wish you nothing but success in 2026. I cannot wait to see how you guys change throughout the year. Like, give me some comments right now, maybe of some goals or some aspirations or what you want to do in the next year. And maybe we can come back in a year from now and see how much we grew together. And just a reminder for yourself, every choice you make is a vote into who you are becoming. So make sure that you are being intentional and really love the things that you're doing so you can love the person you are becoming. I post 2 videos. What is this? I post 2 videos every single week, every Thursday and every single Sunday. So if you have not subscribed already, make sure you guys do. And I love you so much. I'm so, so proud of you. And just showing up today and watching this video is a huge step forward into the person you want to become. So just give yourself a pat on the back for showing up today. I love you and I'll see you soon. Bye.